Everyone. Um, we have a little illumination that we want to do today, and it really has to do with just a simple title. It's just if we can manage our emotions, we basically can manage our reality. So, and let me just kind of go into explain a little bit about that. Every day, I've been under the understanding over the years that we have so much energy that we can utilize, so much energy that we can expend. And of course, it has to do with how we sleep, our food intake, just all those kinds of things metabolically. But it also has to do with spiritual, and it also has to do with our emotional reality. And you can really go back and do a lot of delving into emotional intelligence, which I love. It's one of my favorite things to study. But we get so much energy. So it's how we expend that energy that I'm talking about today. The importance of how to expend our energy so that it co-creates the reality that we really want to exist every single day. And when we make choices or just out of expediency, something has affected us, and we utilize that energy to where it diminishes our thinking and it diminishes our ability to be positive or to trust, then we've expended that energy out, it's gone. And then that usually puts us in a spiral dive. Spiral dive may last 5 minutes. It might last 24 hours. It might last longer, or it creates a domino effect of a lot of spirals where you can't
Hmm.
quite pull yourself back up out of it. And when that happens, it doesn't just change our reality for the moment. It changes our we are co-creating a reality that we don't really want. So it's a reminder, I think, because I had a little incident a couple of days ago, and it's a
I
reminder,
knew there was something, Linda. That's part.
I'm
You didn't tell me this,
well,
but
I'm human,
and I have one
and
too, right? I'll tell
yeah, and
myself.
it puts you in a funk. I mean, just in a funk, and it's like,
It does.
that's not who I am. That's not what I want. It was you who I used to be. It's not who I'm evolving into. And it's like, ooh, all that work just went to waste, right?
Hmm.
So so it just
Yeah.
made me think we should have a little discussion about it. Because
Well,
has that ever happened to you where you've expended energy and what it really does is it metabolically it affects us. You just are drained. I mean, you've either cried or you've gotten so mad that you just, your whole body's been involved. And then, or you're just sad, or, you just kind of can't pick yourself back up again. And that's not where we want to be.
Linda, that is a fact. I like to term it emotional control,
Hmm.
and that it's an obvious term, but it's so true and so relevant in our lives to be able to have control of our emotions, which control our lives and our actions and our interactions. So I knew something sparked this topic. I don't know. We'll get to talk about that later. But I'll tell you, I've been working on that because I try to pride myself on being an even keel person. I know that I can get emotional, I can get agitated. It usually takes something larger, unless it's building up, and then I do tend to kind of avoid it, and then it blows up. But I'll give you a little story about this because it hit home when you mentioned that. So, this weekend I told you that golf tournament here in Kansas City,
Right.
and it's a big tournament for amateurs like myself and others. And you know, I keep it together for the most part. I don't get usually upset on a golf course, but this one happens to be kind of a bigger deal, and there is some cash in the line, et cetera. But it's really just pride, really. So I kept together all day. I was actually calming down. I played with my brother, and I was calming him down. Throughout most of the day, because it's competitive and everybody's in it is a
Yeah,
competitive
I
person.
understand.
Everybody, if they tell you they don't want to win this particular tournament, they're lying to you because they do. And so I kept it together until the very, let's see, third to last hole. And just for non golfers, come up and hit my shot that I wanted to hit. I thought it was going to be a great shot. Turned out to be not so good in position, and I knew it. And I just lost control emotion. I mean, not outburst, just so much energy came out of me over that of course of most of the day to that point, and wanting it so much. And when I failed, I may toss my club a little bit, just
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you throw that golf
yeah,
club?
the little bit. Not it was more that was more a toss. It's more like just cursing myself and you
Okay.
know calling myself an idiot and everything. I mean, my brother's like, it's okay, man, you're fine. But I knew the situation, and the point is, after that happened, I even told him, I said, I'm done. I was emotionally drained, which drained me physically. It was hot out, and I'd put so much energy into negative emotion that I knew myself after it happened. After you kind of step back, I had nothing left. I could barely speak, for like 5 minutes or whatever. So, um, if I would have been more in control at that moment, not let the emotions get the better of me, probably would have handled it a little bit better. But I'm still guilty of it. I guess is my point.
Yeah, aren't we all?
You know,
I
yeah,
mean,
we are. And then
and
and
I,
sometimes now the good news, I don't. Well, I say that I don't think it carried past that. But then maybe it does in some situations where then the smallest thing next, opposed to a larger buildup, a smaller little agitation will throw you off course
hmm hmm
because you've already broken that seal almost of emotional
Yeah.
control. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, and if you watch people, I mean, okay, I'm a high intensity person. I know that.
100%.
I've had my principals tell me that they love me, but oh my gosh, well, I don't like to be that way either.
Calm down a little bit, Linda.
It isn't fun for me.
Yeah.
But
No,
I knew
exactly.
that from the time I was young. I mean, it's just there's a drive, and
Oh man,
and that strive, to there's no perfection. We're
no.
drilled into it, but oh my gosh, it causes so many problems. And so, so that's why I've really enjoyed a lot of the work I've done on emotional intelligence because, you know, that emotional, that understanding emotional intelligence really can help us in fine tuning how we interact in relationships and fine tune, how we take care of ourselves.
Hmm.
You know, because
Yeah.
when we're expending that kind of energy, whether it's in a bluster of energy, oh, that just comes out, or it's minute or whatever,
Atomic bomb.
it affects us metabolically, mentally, and physically.
It does.
I mean,
So, so what advice would you give? Do you have any that you would give on how to control your emotions?
well, simple thing that I used to do with my students, count to 10 before you say anything.
I agree.
Stop,
I
think,
agree.
count to 10. Um, Another thing that's really good, the military is very good about especially with their special ops and all that is a breathing technique,
Hmm.
in through four, hold it, all
Yep.
those things. I mean, I'm serious that sometimes we just need to pause and put into play what would bring our body back down, but that's becoming consciously aware. Are you aware when it's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't like myself when I let it happen because I've worked so hard to not. I mean, I came from a volatile Irish family. I mean, I
Hmm.
don't, I don't, I don't like that anymore because I don't like how it makes me feel, number one. Doesn't, and number two, it's like it puts me back 5 steps, when I'm working
It
so
does.
hard to go forward 5 steps.
I used to when I was younger, and I would get those situations where maybe about to lose my emotion. I would just subconsciously tell myself, think about the consequences here.
Mhm.
before you lose it on this person or yourself or
which is
whatever the
really
case may
good.
be. And if you, I mean, every time I would do that, usually the consequences weren't good. So,
No.
and then take a deep breath and let, as you said earlier, this too shall pass. That's
Hmm.
my mantra, man. And it does. But if you don't have that inner working where you can really ask yourself those questions and calm yourself down, it could create potential problems for you.
Hmm. And
You know,
even for young parents, I'd like to say that as toddlers, it's really important to work with them as toddlers so that they can learn to self-soothe.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because,
yeah,
kids want something or they go in and they see something, then we have a tantrum. And I see so many parents give in, but don't really work with a
man,
child on
so
how to
so true, so true.
self-soothe. And so as adults, we have to self-soothe to bring ourselves out of it. And
We
so it's
sure do.
really important to teach our children to do that when they're young.
I will also. I just brought up another. Thought of something else where if I feel strong emotions coming on, I'll just remove myself from that maybe environment. And some might think that's where are you going? People that know me know if I had to step away from the room or what the case may be, I just need to chill out for a minute and take a couple deep breaths, maybe go take for a little walk or whatever the case may be. And then when I come back, I'm fine. I've done that as well a few times. It
Well, and
seems to be helpful.
I've even chose not to go somewhere where I know. You know,
Absolutely.
I
If you know it's
I
going to
make
be an
decisions now. I'm
adverse environment, yeah, you might want to, and you're not in the right state of mind, you probably
I'm
should
not
avoid it.
I ain't doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
am not putting myself in those kind of situations anymore. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for who I want to be. And it definitely was not healthy for me when I was growing up or, as an adult, a young
That's,
adult.
that's
So,
another great point. Yeah, if you don't feel like it's going to treat your emotions correctly, just don't go. You
and
don't owe
that's where,
anything but to
yeah,
yourself.
that's where boundaries come in. And that is, I think the hardest thing for us as a human is to say no.
Yeah,
But you can say
it
no
is
with
hard.
love because sometimes if it's not good for you, just say no. I
That's
love you,
right.
but
Yeah,
not good for me.
and you don't need to give a reason.
No.
Your true
Yeah.
people understand when you
Yeah.
say, "I'm not going to make it, man. I appreciate it though."
Hmm.
I've had to do that on situations that I wanted to go to, but say somebody was there that creates an emotional environment for me. I
Hmm.
got to avoid it. Just have to do it. It's not always fun though. You know.
Yeah, really.
And sometimes I guess sometimes it can be fun depending on who you are, but not
Oh,
me.
I can think of so many. Oh my God. Yeah,
Oh
it's
no.
not fun.
Well, I think if nothing else, though, this, like you said, is it's a good reminder, and something
Yeah.
we both had situations here recently that had reminded us how to control our emotions.
Oh, yeah. Hard
You
ones.
know,
No,
yeah.
it's
Mine
not
wasn't.
fun.
Mine was just more, just a general day at the course, but I mean, it's
Well,
also transcends into life.
but the other thing is,
It was a test. It was a
you're,
test.
it was a test and you're competitive and you
Yeah,
want to do well, no matter what anybody tells you. Don't go to those damn, excuse me, tournaments and not want to win,
100%.
you know?
Yeah,
And I know that really
yeah.
well because I came from golfers. My grandfather was
Yeah.
a golfer. My
Oh, you
father
know the
was a
deal.
golfer. My son was a golfer because we
You
put
know
golf clubs in his hands when he was 4, So yeah, it's important. So, we don't want to diminish that at all.
Some
But
people that don't play like whatever. You guys out there just drinking beers all day. Well, we do that too, but in
yeah.
the course of it, we're trying to compete and win. That's a fact. So it's a good reminder, and I'm glad you brought this illumination to light today.
Well, I thought,
So appreciate you.
just to just to kind of recap, I think just for your own well-being, just monitor yourself and learn what your triggers are. Sometimes we don't even know what a trigger is until it happens. And then it's like, okay, that could happen again. So let's store that away. Let's
Right.
look at that a little bit. What's that other duality coming out right now, And just work with it. But things happen. And especially when you're raising kids, especially through relationships, yada yada yada, and even
Hmm.
beyond. So I don't know. I just thought it might be important to remind
It's
everyone.
great. Yeah, I'll just add too, just and trust your intuition and your gut
Yes.
on when that emotion is coming to the surface, because most of us, uh, unless you're just not in tune at all, feel it coming on and
Mhm.
just know how to deal with it. If it's a matter of just stepping away, taking deep breaths, thinking about the consequence of what you might do if you lose control of your emotions. And typically, if you do those steps, you'll come out just fine in
Yeah.
most cases.
And because we wouldn't
Not
know,
always.
and truthfully, if you read the paper, there's people that have murdered somebody and it wasn't their intention, but boy, it escalated to that. So I think in the
Yeah.
day that
Yeah.
we're in now, it's even more critical to really create the reality we want by monitoring our emotions and make sure that we can keep them in check.
No road raging out there, guys.
No.
That's definitely not
Thanks for,
worth it.
and thanks for listening.
For sure. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys out there. Thank you, Linda. Great to see you.
You're welcome. Same here.
And we have another podcast coming up here soon, right?
Tuesday. Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow we have
It is
episode 7.
tomorrow. It's on.
I think you're going to
So,
love him. And got a great background, really different. Think you'll enjoy him.
all right. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be launching that probably hopefully tomorrow night, right? If it
Yep.
goes well.
Tomorrow night. That's the plan.
All right. Well, Linda, have a good one.
Okay, you too. Bye,
Talk.
everybody.
See y'all. Take care.